everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a book review for the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. Kingkiller Chronicles has 2 books in it right now, and a novella. I have The Name of the Wind, A Wise Man's Fear, and The Slow Regard for Silent Things. So I know this book is really popular, and some people really like it, some people don't like it. There are certainly things I like about it, things that I don't like. So I'm just going to go over things that I like and things that I don't like about this series. The Kingkiller Chronicles follow a person named Kavoth, and he is telling his life story from his point of view. When he's older, I guess he owns an inn, and this scribe finds him and wants to record his actual story because there's all these myths about him. So he shows up and convinces him to tell him his story, and Kavoth says, "You have 3 days to chronicle my life, and that's all you get." So in the beginning, Kavoth lives with his family, and they are traveling performers. As he's growing up, he's found to be very good at music. He runs into this person that knows a little bit about magic, and he finds he's got a aptitude for that. He's just a very talented person. And very early on, a tragedy occurs, and now he is all on his own. This tragedy was caused by some mythical creatures, I guess we could say. And so throughout the whole series, he is trying to find these mythical creatures and kind of get revenge on them. Problem is, basically they don't exist. They exist in a few children's stories, but they don't exist anywhere else. And as he's trying to research them and find things out about them, everyone says, like, why do you care? This is just a children's story. And he knows differently, but can't tell anyone. He ends up with nothing. He goes to this city. He lives on the street for a while and then decides he's going to enroll in this school of magic, which of course he gets in because he's very talented. Normal things happen at the school. There's school rivalries and all those kind of things. The things that I liked about the story were when he kind of left the school and did his own little mini adventures. Those were probably like the funnest parts. When he was at the school, even though he had like these rivalries and everything, he just seemed like everything he did, he excelled at. And the people that hated him, he always won out on them. And even when he had his little adventures, he still came out on top like all the time. So this person, I guess, is really good at everything. And that kind of annoyed me. I certainly didn't like that aspect of his story because just didn't seem real. Like, we all fail at things. There's always somebody that's better than us at something. But he built the best magical artifacts. You know, he had the best friends. He made friends with Ari, the girl who lives under the school. She won't talk to anybody else or have anything to do with anyone else. So I just thought he was a little too good to be true. Other than that, I did enjoy his adventures. I enjoyed, like I said, my favorite parts were the parts where he was not at the school and was going off to do his own thing. But it's like he always came back to the school and I was like, oh, back there. Which, it wasn't like horrible, it was my least favorite parts. So that's kind of the main plot, the main story. For the characters, Kavoth is the main character, and like I said, he's kind of over the top. Although he does have some good qualities, he doesn't give up. He is willing to work really hard for the things that he has. The biggest problem I had with it is he doesn't ever seem to fail at anything. Dina is his love interest. I guess I have a little soft spot for her because she seems like she's a girl who doesn't really have a whole lot going for her and has to attach herself to men who have a lot of money, and she just kind of goes from one to the next. Well, Kavoth is chasing her, but because he has no money, obviously he has no chance with her. She kind of tends to show up in the most inconvenient and weird places, but she's always where he least expects her to be. And I didn't always get the feeling that she felt the same way about him as he did about her, because he's constantly trying to impress her and do things for her, and she just seems like she's always just trying to survive. She cares about him, but she's never going to be with him. Ari was the girl from the slow regard for silent things. She's this girl who lives under the school, and she's kind of a mystery. You know, she goes around collecting items and just, you know, trying to figure them out. She doesn't talk to anybody other than Kavoth, and she's kind of just a mystery. The novella did talk a little bit about her, but it didn't really have much of a plot to it. But it was still enjoyable. I guess, just like everybody else, I would say that Patrick Rothfuss's writing is beautiful. He writes really well, and his prose is just amazing. Sometimes that, like when he's doing action scenes, that pulls it away a little bit because the prose is so beautiful that sometimes the actual scene doesn't come across the way that it might if I'm reading an action scene from somebody else. But the writing is really beautiful, and it was one of the greatest things in it, and when you're reading it, you always pick up little surprises and stuff in his writing. The world that was created in this series is really great. When you go to different cities and stuff, and different parts and different places where Kavoth is, like if he's living on the street, or if he's at the school, or if he's on one of his adventures, every place feels like it's a completely different place, and you would know that this is the customs and everything of this place. This is the kind of the social order of the place, and the world building was also one of my favorite things. So overall, I enjoyed the series. My biggest problem with it is, of course, that it's not finished. And even though I just read it last year, so I haven't been waiting a long time, and he has been saying that the next book is coming out, you know, and not that I would say, like, hey, he has to do this or anything like that. I understand that he's dealing with his own stuff. I would still like to have a finished series to read. I will be picking up the next book, and I'm kind of hoping that I'm not sure how it's going to end. And, you know, if he's going to reach his objective or not, and it'll be fun to see. And if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. I probably won't lose any sleep over it. It is not my favorite fantasy series, and it had a lot of the fact that the main character is like the best thing ever. You know, after a while it got kind of old. Like, hey, you know, have him fail at something. Have somebody be better than him at something. So, but, you know, other than he was in poverty, and I guess that was his big struggle. But even that, he always finds a way. Every time he has to come up with money, he's able to come up with it. So, you know, it's like his big obstacle in life, but yet it's not. Although the big obstacle, we're trying to find out who these mythical creatures are and why they caused this tragedy in his life. It's like the only thing that he can't figure out. And hopefully in the third one he will. Alright, thanks everybody for listening. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you later.